All right, welcome back to Late Night Lately, the late night show. I'm your host Chad White, and if you just listened to the Constitutionals episode 270 or watched it, I'm guessing that you're probably thinking to yourself, he surely doesn't have the same shirt, two of the same shirt, but one's a different color with his college on it. And I say, yeah, I do. Here we are, back at it again, baby. Recording another episode of this show. Listen, I want to try something new. Hold on, let me just pop open everything. All the YouTube channels I need to pop open. Now, I did not write a monologue, but I did write down topics for the monologue. So let's see if this works. This is so late that I don't even have to share it on Instagram, so it doesn't even matter. All right, so the first note I have is Trump's sons take stand. So this is like the setup to the setup. Just let me just explain the reasoning for this. I just take a bunch of notes for the monologue, and I try to get 5. I try to get 4, political ones, and then one joke that is, which is the 5th joke, which is one joke that is something that is just evergreen and just something that just relates to the time. That could be that doesn't lean left or right. Get your politics out of my late night. How do you do it? So the first one is Trump's sons take stand. Let me come back to that. I don't know if I have something good for that. Well, hold on. Let's just work through it right now. Trump's sons take stand. Okay, so we have Eric Trump and Don Jr., right? Don Jr. and Eric Trump take the stand, and I would probably say something along the lines of the Trump sons took. I'll deliver it like I'm doing my monologue. The Trump son, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump are set to take the stand. Took the stand this week in the Donald Trump's New York trial, based out of their business or something like that. I don't know. And then I would probably say something about Donald Trump Jr. doing cocaine. When Don Jr. got to the stand, Hold on. Let me go to Eric Trump. Let's say Eric Trump, got up there and had like a box of crayons and had. Oh no, he sat down and asked for the placemat with the maze and not the hard one. And then that's pretty good. And then Don Jr.'s like, let's say when Don Jr. sat down, he immediately pulled out his credit cards and which he probably defaulted on and set up a line of white powder substance. I don't know, something stupid. I would have worked it out. I do give passes on these jokes. I go. Okay, let me do first pass, second pass, third pass. Then next up is my notes is Sam Bankman-Fried convicted on 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy, and he could be sentenced to up to 110 years. And at least in that time, he'll have figured something out with his hair because it's all wild and crazy. That's the joke. I did it. That was good. Right off the top of the dome. I would have done 2 jokes for the Trump sons taking the stand because I only have 4 things written down here. Eric Adams. So imagine I made a second joke. Eric Adams, chief fundraiser. It was raided by the FBI, and wouldn't you know it? Something about Pizza Rat. I would have done Pizza Rat. Yeah, because he started this new rat hunting campaign. So, okay. Eric Adams, New York Mayor Eric Adams' chief fundraiser was raided by the FBI due to illegal use of campaign funds. And it turns out that the person the agent in charge of the raid had a personal vendetta against Eric Adams, and I always showed a picture of Pizza Rat right here where my right hand is. And then finally, this is a 5-minute long monologue. The Texas Rangers won the World Series, beating the Arizona Diamondbacks, X to X. And then I would have said, I would have made probably like a a Lone Ranger reference, or what is that? Gunsmoke. I would have made a Gunsmoke reference. I don't know if Gunsmoke takes place in Texas, but there we go. There's a monologue, everybody. Let's get into it. This week in late night, I missed the week prior to that. So Dennis Nice. Jesus. Dennis Nice, and Desus Nice, and Charlemagne the God hosted the Daily Show separately. Also, that's the only show I didn't bring up on my YouTube, apparently. Let's go find it. Is it under T for the? Yeah, it is. Jeez, that's stupid. Don't start playing. And, I will say this. We'll start with the Daily Show because that is the show that is in need of this the most. I think that Desus Nice is off the cuff a very funny person. And I think he can carry a show when he has somebody to play off of. When he is a host and when he's reading things, it is the least funny thing in the world. And I will say this very strongly. The DL Hughley week and the Desus Nice week, I view them as the exact same because they were both so unfunny. well, I mean, not unfunny. They were both nervous. And I like Desus. I like him a lot. I like it when he's hanging out with Miro. They don't do that anymore, but anyway. God, can you imagine? We would still have Desus and Miro if this is around. I miss those days. But Desus Nice, it was nice to see him talk to his friend, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It was nice to see him make jokes about DJ Envy again. Envy. That's for the real ones. And to watch him conduct interviews is pretty good. I mean, he can have a conversation. He can talk, and that's the most important part. But it's just him when it's him doing something. Reading something. It's just not the best thing, as it turns out. Oh God. Anyway, what? Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm looking at something and I'm realizing that I have not. Anyway, okay, I'll stop. I'll pay attention to what's going on in real life. Okay, so what's going on? So anyway, his conversations are good, but just the reading stuff is a little subpar. And I'll say Charlemagne the God is a decent enough host. I don't know if he's actually a funny person, and that's not meant to be like none of this is meant to be an insult or anything. But I don't know if he's exactly the haha funny person. He just kind of says things that are wild and out of pocket, and he'll do something like he'll sniff J-Lo's chair when he interviews her, which he did do, which is so gross and disgusting. Or he'll say something, directly to someone's face that is, something no one would normally say. And now, what I do like about The Daily Show is something that Colbert also does. Is that they will interview the people that are, when I say of the moment, I mean that are the ones who are classically, not the ones that a lot of people are cheering for. So Charlemagne talked to Nikki Haley, and he also talked to Nancy Mace, which, if you know, are two Republican hard right people that are just kind of the worst. But it's also interesting that they gave those to him, whereas we got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with Desus Nice, and then we got someone that like Sidney Colson who could probably work with Desus as well, and how Charlemagne got someone as difficult as Nikki Haley. Also, both of those interviews, Nancy Mace and Nikki Haley, they're extended. They're 15 and 21 minutes long. And I'm just so surprised that they aren't as highly viewed as they should be. Now, is it because Charlemagne the God is known by his fans and that's pretty much it? Like, I know Charlemagne, but but that's because I watched and listened to The Breakfast Club for a very long time. But and the same thing, I mean, you know, because like Desus Nice, at least he has the internet fame, the internet culture behind him. I don't know. Anyway, those are both very interesting weeks and interesting choices. Let's go back to Kimmel. He had John Wilson on Halloween, and that was a fantastic thing. And then last week, Mariah Carey pranked him in bed, and I don't understand why that video existed, but there you go. And then we have the Tonight Show. What happened last week? We had I do enjoy that Sheryl Crow came on to the show, and for some reason Alex Cooper was there. I don't understand how some people are famous. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just, yeah. Anyway, Colbert is off this. Okay, should not have mentioned that, but anyway, Colbert last week had Willie Nelson. Don't know why I went on there. Anyway. So yeah, there's that. And Seth, you know, doing his Seth thing. God bless it. He's just running this late night game. Had my beautiful wife Caitlin Collins on, Brendan Hunt, Henry Winkler, and he has a lot of people that I think go overlooked when they are on these shows. Like for instance, he had Morgan Freeman and Renee Rapp on, and I would say, even, you know, age disparity aside, those are two giant names, and these videos should have a lot more views because those interviews were good. I didn't watch the Renee Rapp one because I'm an adult man, but yeah, but it sucks that, you know, it's the things like Closer Look that get the millions of views, and it's the monologues and the bits that get, you know, the 250,000, and then the interviews get like a tenth of that. Stinks. Now, okay, here's the thing. Here's the big thing to talk about. It was announced that Taylor Tomlinson is hosting the CBS show After Midnight. Now, this is not a remake of At Midnight. It is an interpolation. So you can't sue. No, it's the same company. Taylor Tomlinson, we are the same age, and she's a comedian, and I just want to say that we're the same age. And I don't know, her jokes are about dating or something. So mean. The news was announced on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, who he will also executive produce the series. Now, if you know anything about At Midnight, it was a Twitter-based show, mostly Twitter. It was an internet-based show, but it was a Twitter-based show on Comedy Central that aired at midnight after The Daily Show and at one point after The Nightly Show. That's still such a great title. They should bring that show back. The Nightly Show is so good. Title. The Nightly Show is so good. Title. The show itself is still going to use some work, but I think they should have given Larry Wilmore. It's me, Larry David. We're going to talk about black stuff. That's bad. That was a bad one. I know. The joke was good. The impression was horrible. Anyway, they should have let the Nightly Show go on until the 2016 election or 2020 election. Was that it? Was that when that show was canceled? Yeah, they should have let him go until the 2020 election. Man, that'd have been good. Anyway, was it 2020 election? Or was it the 2016 election? I have a computer in front of me. The Nightly Show. I'll bring it back. 2017. No. Oh, God, no. Hold on. Larry Wilmore. Okay, I typed in a K. So there was another Nightly Show, and it was British, and it only lasted a little bit of time. All right, Larry Wilmore. That show was 2015. Oh, my gosh. They should have let him go. It was January 19, 2015 to August 18, 2016. That should have gone well until at least the winter of, it should have gone to December or November 2016. Because that's when the show, like imagine if SNL just was not on during the election season. Or imagine if Late Night wasn't on during the election season. Let's just go back to that. I had a Robin Thede. God, the beautiful Robin Thede. I judge people on their beauty. If you look at the Wikipedia for this show, and I'll get back to After Midnight, It's the only story I have to talk about. If you look at the Wikipedia on the show, Ricky Velez and Michelle Buteau continually interrupted Bill Nye and denied interest in the discovery of water on Mars. Wow. Interesting. I don't remember this at all. And then a lot of people said that made them stop watching The Nightly Show, and it was one of the most unpleasant viewing experiences in recent memory. Nye was being genuine and earnest, and it sucked for him to be okay. When Wilmore did a Reddit AMA in February 2016, outrage over the Nye segment dominated most of the discussion, with more than 1,000 comments specifically criticizing the show's treatment of Nye, characterized by Adweek's David Griner as the moment that many thought the show, quote, turned away from Stephen Colbert's legacy and intellectual wisdom. Now, here's the problem. Here's my problem with that comment. The fact that you're comparing a show in the same time slot to another show that preceded it is in essence taking away from what this new show is. The Nightly Show has nothing to do with the Colbert Report. The Nightly Show is more a send-off of the Daily Show, we're in the same lines as Late Night is, excuse me. Yeah, Late Night with Seth Meyers. Late Night is different from the Tonight Show. Tonight Show and Today Show, just because they share today and tonight, like times of day, doesn't mean that they're the same show and have to be the same show. So let's not compare Stephen Colbert's The Colbert Report with a fictional character who's doing his own version of The Daily Show, but for, right-wing people in a comedic sense, sending up that version, with The Nightly Show, which is just does, at that point in time, did a long-form piece like monologue and then panel. And panel was the worst part of it. In response, Wilmore was surprised by the outcry, saying, quote, it was just a conversation he wrote on Reddit. People are allowed to have a point of view. Bill Nye had a great time on the panel. He's been on the show a couple of times. People are allowed to have opinions. For the life of me, I really don't understand why people are so upset that someone would disagree with Bill Nye. I was on Bill's side of that, but still, who cares? It's just a conversation. Bill Nye has since appeared on the show, making light of the incident. Yeah, you know what? There's taking the I shook my head. If you're just listening, there was at the beginning of the quote when he's like, it was just a conversation. People are allowed to have a point of view. When it's less of a conversation when I have not seen the video, but if they continually interrupt him, that's not a conversation. That's just someone trying to get their point across and then them taking it down. But whatever. But anyway, I enjoyed that show. Again, I was not a fan of the panel, but yes, they should have let him go until 2020. Now that we've talked about that for some time, let's get back to. So that show at midnight was a bunch of most of the times comedic people 4 times a week doing 3 people a panel, and Chris Hardwick would set people up, tee them off, and then people would do a lot of their what idiots thought were off the cuff jokes, but no, there's a bunch of writers on At Midnight and who helped these other people write jokes, who helped the panel write jokes, prepared things. And so now they're doing a version of that on broadcast TV with Taylor Tomlinson. At some point, it was against Ricky Velez and X Mayo, who were for the hosting gigs. And now, so Ricky Velez was in The King of Staten Island with Pete Davidson, and X Mayo was on American Auto on NBC, if you remember that show. That was canceled. That sucks. I like that show. And they were setting up really good stuff. Anyway, After Midnight is going to be coming next year at some point. And that's pretty much all the information we have, is that Taylor's hosting and Colbert is producing, and it's a version of At Midnight. And I wonder if, we have TikTok. Twitter's in the toilet. We have TikTok and we have YouTube, and I mean, those are like truly, take YouTube out of the equation. TikTok is what's going to be the driving force behind this. But then, in the background, there will be YouTube, there will be Twitter or /X. Is there a way for this show to 4 nights a week on broadcast be what it can be and what it used to be? I love the title. I like that there's a woman hosting. I like that she's young. It's unfortunate that's not a person of color, but whatever. And but is there a way that this show can succeed in the way that, not in the same way that At Midnight did, but in a way that is similar in a nation, in a time where TikTok is how people watch things, these short form videos. And I'm so interested in, because I love late night. I love the idea of it, and I want to see new interpretations of it. So After Midnight definitely intrigues me in every facet, in every way, in every direction. But until then, we don't know what's going to happen. And until then, you got to listen to me talk about. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, thank you. I don't know if I ever thanked anybody. This is the end. If you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where I talk to your favorite people in the industry. Up next is Chuck Nice. After that, I've got somebody else, baby. I recorded it yesterday. You can follow if you want to see a video version of the interviews, you want to see a video version of the podcasts, including what is this show, Lena? The Constitutionals podcast, which is the premier business podcast, and LinkedIn Logs, which is the job podcast. I don't know. Go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy. You can also subscribe to those wherever you get your podcasts. Go to what is this show called? I don't know what's going on anymore. Just go to social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at @cpluscomedy, at Chad Black White. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back in, I don't know, today's Wednesday, probably Friday. So I'll see you later.